People who come from cultures and societies in which freedom of speech is difficult were to try and involve themselves in something like this, which wouldn't be seen as a direct threat that could get them into trouble, wouldn't get them whipped in the town square, wouldn't get them imprisoned for expressing themselves, but would allow them to have full creative reign on things from their country. That's obviously important. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about this whole freedom of speech thing because people, I think, get a bit, well, not confused, but there are differing views. With the Charlie Hebdo, I set my stand out and said, you know, that people should be free to offend, and I believe that. And people tweeted me and said, well, suppose we offended, you know, homosexuals. I said, well, fine, you can write an offensive piece about homosexuals as far as I'm concerned, and I would have permission to write an offensive piece about you as a result, and call you a fucking idiot. That's how it goes, that's how it works, that's fine. But I also wrote a piece for Holocaust Memorial Day, which is tomorrow, I think, in which I talked about having met this extraordinary woman, Anita Lasker-Wallfisch, who was a survivor from Auschwitz, who was a cellist. She played under the baton of Alma Rosa, who was Mahler's niece, and incredible woman, very tough, very extraordinary. And we talked a lot, and the thing I sort of came away with, which is something I've thought about before, is for the Holocaust to have happened, and it's the same in Rwanda. There's the radio station there, the Der Colline radio station, which for weeks broadcast, you know, that Tutus were cockroaches. Kill the cockroaches, they're cockroaches. No human except a psychopath can kill another human without some sense of remorse. And there aren't enough psychopaths in any given population to destroy another through genocide. So you have to do something to recruit the ordinary members of that population. And what you do is you dehumanize those that you wish to kill. And Streicher and Goebbels, for a very long period in time, described and showed, as it were, that the Jews were lice and rats and vermin. They were not human. They were subhuman. And if you grow up, you know, if you're 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, maybe 9, 10 years even, of that, because it was 43 that it started to be put in train, and 44 and 45 that the Holocaust truly exploded in terms of the death camps. So there were people who had had probably 12 years of indoctrination that Jews were not human. And so they could do things to them that really still absolutely chill the blood. And so in order to guard against another Holocaust, we have to watch language. We have to watch those who use language and those who speak in such a way as to dehumanize other people. And that may sound, if I express it wrong, is if I'm recommending some sort of politically correct speech in which you're not allowed to do this and not allowed to be that. Well, what I'm recommending is more or less what we have, which is that you just don't allow people to incite hatred or to kill. You don't allow someone to say, kill the cockroaches. But that's not the same as banning people who draw cartoons or who mock. So it's a very delicate business. And delicate nuances of this kind are not easily followed, especially when we have the world of digital media around, where people are going to, you know, possibly play with what they think may be legal, which may turn out at least to be very destructive and harmful to any given group of people, including Islamic people, of course. And it's not just about protecting Jews, because I happen to be Jewish. Obviously, I have that memory from the family, but if it should teach one anything, it's that it applies to us all.